So we are going to go over the first couple of the examples of the first projectile motion math part 1. A couple of the problems I'm going to do, just pulled them out of the problem set. Hopefully you got, if you're watching this, you got at least one out of them. Hopefully after I go over a couple of these problems, you'll be able to get a little bit higher score. The movie gods must be crazy. This old movie. So we'll have to we'll go through it. Pilot drops a bottle out of an airplane and is recovered by a surprised native below. Some don't know exactly what country it came from. Who thinks the message is from the gods, which would make sense because something falling out of the sky would make that sense. The plane from which the bottle was dropped was flying at an altitude of 500 meters. The bottle lands 400 meters horizontally from the initial drop point. How fast was the plane flying when the bottle was released? So ultimately, we want to find the velocity that the plane has from that. But it might, again, when in doubt, draw it out. We'll want to start with my very crude plane here. So the object is dropped at this point, and the plane is 500 meters above the ground that we have here. Okay. After a certain amount of time, which we don't know, we will need to find out how that, because we do know that after a certain amount of time, the object does eventually fall to the ground. There's a curved path, so we cannot use the Pythagorean theorem. A lot of people would love to use the Pythagorean theorem, but we cannot. So distance in the y is also known as h. We also then have that it traveled 400 meters in the distance in the x direction. So we have some information for us. We also do remember that we have gravity is always around. It's always doing its thing. And we need to take that into account, utilize gravity. And again, we'll go with 10 meters per second squared on that. So with that, we were able to find some things. We need to find time before we can find velocity. We want to know how fast the plane was moving. So to do that, we need to use something to find something, and which is very common for this these problems that we've been doing lately. And so what we'll have is, again, we'll use the distance is equal to 1/2 gt squared. A lot of you probably are starting to get used to saying, oh, that's what we do, apparently. The distance that we're going to use, because it's gravity, has to be the 500. We're going to set that equal to 1/2 gt, which if you take 1/2 in that, I'm going to do some math very quickly and utilize the 5, and we still have our t squared. If I take and divide both sides by 5, we will see that I have 100 is equal to t squared, and if I take the square root of that, I will get that my time is equal to 10 seconds. From there, I should be able to now take that bit of information and utilize an equation that we've done before, that velocity is equal to distance divided by time. This time I need to use my 400. So 400 meters. Divide that by the 10 seconds that I have to give me the velocity of 40 meters per second. That should be the what we were looking for of what is the initial velocity of the plane. Now, in question number 3, we see that Tad drops a cherry pit out of a car that is 1 meter above the ground while traveling down the road at 18 meters per second. How far horizontally from the initial dropping point will hit the ground? Draw a picture of the situation, which shouldn't come as any surprise because when in doubt, draw it out. And then they ask, if the car continues to travel at the same speed, where will the car be in relationship when the pit lands? Well, I'm going to draw my rudimentary car here. Rudimentary car, and we see that the let's go a cherry pit usually are going to be there, but we're going to just say it was dropped out. Okay, we know that the distance that it was dropped from that height was 1 meter. Therefore, we then can find out the velocity is 18 meters per second. We still also know that gravity is 10 meters per second squared. And so we have some things that we can use to find out what we need. We need to find the time because we can't find any velocity, we can't find any distances, and that's what we want to ultimately find here is the distance that it traveled. And so what we have to look at then is utilizing again the equation. Distance is equal to 1/2 gt squared, given that the distance is 1, and I'm going to again take gravity and take 1/2, and then I'll have it t squared, divide both sides by 5, and that's going to give me, I'm going to put that into a decimal of 0.2 is equal to t squared. If I take the square root of that, now something weird happens here in that it actually, when I take the square root, my answer gets bigger. That's how it works. We'll not worry about the math. Just know that that's normal. It'd be like dividing by a decimal point. Numbers get bigger. So we'll just go with that. And so now that we have a time, we can solve for distance in the x direction can be equal to the velocity times time. And if I plug in my numbers, 18 times 0.45, I should get an answer roughly of 8 meters. I think it's like 8.05, so roughly 8 meters down the road. That's how far it would travel. Now, if the car travels at the same speed, that will be answer would be at the same distance. So just same. So there you go. Hopefully you got some of that down. Hopefully it makes a little more sense for you to improve your score on Projectile Motion Math Part 1.